Well, welcome everyone. This is Up Your Rank FPL. We are your hosts. I'm AC. That's Bry bringing you another double Game Week 12 review, Game Week 13 preview. As always, if you guys have been enjoying the content that we've been bringing you, please make sure that you smash that like button, hit subscribe, follow us on Twitter at Up Your Rank FPL. Let's get it. Bry, my guy, Wagwan, another double midweek game week down the drain. It was something else. A lot of different things happened. How you feeling?
Yo, honestly, this game week was a little crazy. Some ups, some downs. I know we're going to touch on it all. Overall, this was just a crazy midweek game week. Clean sheets are back. Looks like everybody's just throwing out clean sheets all over the place. Crazy game week, man. I can't wait to dive in. I'm ready to get some stuff off my chest. Trust me.
Listen,
how are you feeling?
I got a lot of things to get off my chest. As a matter of fact, I apologize. I'm being impatient because I got to get them off of my chest right now because you brought up something that I didn't want to talk about. Clean sheets? You're talking about everybody getting clean sheets? 8 clean sheets? There was 9 games, 9 matches. How is it that I'm the one with the goalkeeper who can't keep a clean sheet? What was going on with Wolves? They defensively, offensively, they've been a disappointment. Defensively, they've been a disappointment. They look like they're about to get relegated. Jose Sa just comes in with the one penalty save from the previous game week. I'm riding a high. I'm thinking he's going to get another one. And he doesn't. He doesn't at all. As a matter of fact, he lets in 2. The only thing that makes me feel good about it is that Zaha happened to score one of the goals. So it's either going to be a clean sheet or Zaha getting some points. If Zaha hadn't scored and I didn't bring in Eze, and that's somebody who we may not have said it on video, but it's crazy because sometimes we talk about things and then I go back and I'm like, but hold on. I didn't talk about this player. I didn't talk about this player. But they look like there's somebody who I want to bring into the team. But do I really want them long term? Eze was that guy, 5.6 million. Yeah. Ends up scoring. Or maybe it was an assist. One of the two. He returned.
No, he scored.
There we go.
He scored the first one. Yeah.
So, I got to get that off my chest that I happen to be one of the 2 goalkeepers. Well, one of the matches. I guess there would have been, 9 goalkeepers who didn't keep clean sheets, but the odds were in a lot of people's favors because a lot of the teams that people had defenders for were the ones that kept the clean sheets. So I was unlucky. If you were a Crystal Palace owner or a defender, definitely unlucky as well. And what do I have? It's Jose Sa and Gehi. So double whammy there, no clean sheet in the back. Definitely got to get that off my chest. Next thing I got to get off my chest is that I love the fact that Liverpool is performing at a decent level. I'm not getting too excited. But we're talking about back-to-back wins.
Yeah, back-to-back wins.
1-0, 1-0.
Yeah, back-to-back wins. Hey man, back-to-back wins in a short week. 2 tough games.
I'm not mad.
6 points.
I'm not mad because we've been dropping. Obviously, we've dropped 8 unnecessary points, in my opinion. I think all from winning positions. Maybe one of them. Yeah. I think they were all from winning positions. I could be wrong. But for Jared Bowen, and if you watched it, I was watching the game.
Oh, I would see. I wasn't watching the game.
As I'm watching the game, and I said, "What is Gomez doing?" I'm like, that looks so bad. And when they slowed it down to see how that penalty occurred, I said, great. This is going to be fantastic because Liverpool's going to end up scoring 1 more and Jared Bowen's going to get a goal. But when I saw the ball in Jared Bowen's hand just standing there, I'm like, this guy don't look confident. He's going to miss. He's going to miss. And then I can't remember who the commentators were. They said Jared Bowen loves going to the goalkeeper's right. That's his favorite side. That's his
All the
favorite
time.
side. That's where he's gonna put the
Goes there
ball.
all the time.
What does
All the
Allison
time.
do? It wasn't even struck well.
It wasn't a good penalty.
It wasn't a good penalty.
It wasn't a good penalty.
He
Penalties,
telegraphed it.
yeah, penalties are, in my opinion, penalties are like 75, 80% confidence. Confidence scores penalties. That's it.
That's all he needed. And he just didn't look like he had it.
He from he stood up on it, it looked like he missed.
Exactly. So didn't even get the rebound. And obviously you're gonna get -2 for the miss. For the miss. 0 points. I may as well not made a transfer. He was already somebody I was worried about leaving in the team.
Yeah, you were already on the fence on him. Yeah.
But I wasn't about to play Nico Williams when everybody was scaring me with Trossard. So I'm just saying to myself, that's something else I got to get off my chest. Bowen miss, Nico Williams, 6 points. Every time he's on my bench, he returns.
Oh, you didn't even play him?
I didn't play him. He was first off the bench.
God.
But how did it make everyone had a Brighton attacker? I wasn't necessarily betting against Brighton. I was just betting against Trossard. So I thought they were going to concede, and they didn't concede. So if you had a Forest, most people had to play Nico Williams because of the Madison news.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? But for me, I already had an extra player available. So Williams saw the bench. So that's something else I had to get off of my chest in a negative way. But I have one positive thing to get off my chest. My last minute change, Harvey Barnes. We didn't talk about him in the last video, but he was brought into my team because I saw a crazy stat that said he returned 5 times against Leeds.
Against Leeds, yes. When the commentator said that, I was like, wow, that's interesting.
I heard this the day of the match before the deadline. It was either right before the deadline, not like right before as in minutes before, but sometime after we recorded. And I said, that's a very interesting statistic. I didn't know this. And you're telling me that Madison's not there? Nah, let me take that gamble. I'm about to take that gamble. I had no idea. I brought him in. Returns. Missed the games today. Only got to follow on the Twitter feed. Very, very happy about that. Those are the things that I got to get off my chest when we break down my team a little bit more. A couple things that I'll make note of. But overall, I can't be too mad at how that game week went. Show you the team soon. Bri, Wagwan, what do you need to get off of your chest right now?
Honestly, I think the game week went well. I just want to say that off the bat. Game week went well, in my opinion. So well that if I look at, and I will get into the team, like more than half the team returned in some way, which, I'm happy about. Bowen, obviously a big L. I took the gamble on Bowen. Now it's been for a couple of weeks. I got the big haul, his big double digit, but this was one of those weeks where 5 points, a 7-point swing is a big difference in this particular game week, especially when the average is so low. So Bowen, big disappointment. Trossard, honestly, here's how I feel about the Trossard transfer. Here's how I really feel about it. The Trossard transfer, I had a transfer available, right? I knew I could field 11. And based on the players that I was weighing up, I watched the games. Based on the players that I was going to bring in, Trossard played the best out of the players that I was going to bring in.
Okay.
Hit the post, created. He had one big chance created. He had a couple of shots. He looked the most dangerous. Anybody else who I would have brought in, they didn't do none. So from that regard, I know some people have been so upset. Like, when you see online on Twitter, I know some people have been very upset with Trossard, but I really expect him to return to begin with. It was a punt. It didn't pay off. He's already out of my team. To be honest, I moved him out right after the game. So, it was always going to be a 1-week punt. So it's kind of like whatever. I don't know. You know what I mean? This is one of those. At least Brighton didn't concede a goal. So he got the extra point there. But outside of that, I'm happy with how the team performed. Nothing else major from my end.
No qualms, eh?
Yeah, I'm chilling.
All right, so how about this? We're already talking about the game week. I'm gonna quickly bring up my team. Let's see how the team performed. We'll look at your team, and then after that, we'll get into the preview for game week 13.
Bet.
Game week 12, 52 points. It's not updated, at least on my screen. I know on live FPL rank, like we talked about before we started recording, that it is updated. Felt like it just could have been so much better. I'm gonna start from the back. Jose saw 1 point. Disappointment. Cucurella, 6 points this time because he actually played more than 60 minutes and then he got subbed off.
And it was close. It was tight.
It was like 61 minutes.
It was tight too, man. It was tight.
I would have been bent. He's leaving my team. He's on my bench. Going into the we're gonna talk about him. Kieran Trippier, 9 points. He is points, like his points per million is phenomenal.
Listen, to me, Trippier is the second best player in FPL
right now.
This year.
Behind Haaland,
Behind Haaland, second best player in FPL.
I think is it because of the price, eh?
Price.
I think Saliba, no? Saliba's cheaper and 5-7 Saliba. I'm gonna have to check what the points are, but okay. I think there's a great argument to be made. Trippier's fantastic. Like, I think a lot of people knew he was going to be fantastic, but I didn't think he'd be this good. I didn't think Newcastle were going to be keeping this many clean sheets. It's a lot already. And they faced some decent teams.
Trippier.
We're talking... Yeah, go ahead.
Trippier has 60 plus points. Saliba's on 51. Granted, Saliba missed a game. Trippier's returned every single game week.
Except the Liverpool game and the Wolves game.
Barring 2 weeks.
Bro, and they were both away fixtures. So at home, this guy's a beast. At home, we're talking 9 points, 7 points, 5 points, probably because he got a yellow card. No, he got an assist in that one. 8 points, 6. Yeah, he's a beast. He's nice. Gay. Yellow card, man. What? I can't be mad. He's so cheap. And the fixtures that are coming up, Everton, Southampton, like I have to play him. Like this is what we wanted, right?
You gotta play him. You know they're not a crazy defensive team. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. Barnes, Harvey, 8. I was praying that Leeds were gonna score. You want to know why? Because ever since I brought out Ward,
it's been a joke.
3 clean sheets?
It's been a joke.
3 clean sheets?
Ward has been cheesing me.
Listen.
I'm telling you right now, Ward has been cheesing me. Ward has been cheesing me, fam. This guy gets another clean sheet today.
Bro, this is crazy.
And 3 bonus points.
You got all 3?
And 3 bonus points.
Jesus Christ. So I'm thinking about things and I'm saying, I should have kept my wild card for game week 13. That's when my wild card should have been played. Because if I go back, and I'm not even going to do it because it's going to make me upset. If I go back and I look at all the points that I've missed out on since making all these transfers, right? We're talking about no Martinelli, no Jesus, no KDB, no Ward. All those guys who I brought in for different reasons, sure. Jose Zaha got some points.
Tony brought back Tony.
Yeah, I ended up bringing back Tony. Bowen, I didn't get the double-digit haul from Bowen. Cucurella cost me points. I don't know. I just feel like I didn't need to do it. Right. And I don't want to go back because it's going to make me upset. So I'm going to leave it. I'm going to just leave it. Zaha, he was frustrating. He was frustrating to watch in that game because I'm saying to myself, this guy is not getting anything done. I watched the game. I watched the game.
Yeah, I watched the game too. But that's Zaha. He's a very frustrating fantasy player to have. Like I told my boy, yo, if you're going to bring in Zaha, you just got to decide the run you're going to have him for and just leave him alone. Because you'll not, if you watch him, you're going to want to take him out. And
Yes.
You're going to miss when he returns.
That's exactly how I felt. I didn't want him in the team. I actually don't want him in my team. But the fixtures, I just have to ignore it and be like, there's talent around him though. Like the players on Crystal, they look wicked.
Yeah, I think they look good.
Shout out Patrick, like doing a great job with the clubs. Was doing a great job with the club last year. It continues. I'm rooting for them to finish more than 8th. Don't think it's gonna happen, but I'm rooting for them. I don't know if they're gonna make it. I don't think it's gonna happen because I think Newcastle's tough to compete with. There were teams that, Brighton's a tough team to compete with, but they're kind of dropping points. We're talking about 4 straight games with 1 point in 4.
They're not
something like that. I don't know if they're gonna. It's almost looking like without Potter.
Yeah, they're not gonna recover.
Yeah, so and Chelsea's looking amazing with Potter. So, and when I say amazing, I'm not saying
points wise.
I'm points wise, exactly.
Yeah, just points wise.
They're getting, but that's all you really need. They got to start scoring some goals, man. That's another conversation. You guys got to start putting the ball in the back of the net.
Don't let me get you.
So do we. Like Liverpool's terrible. Like I always want it to be very, very clear. Liverpool's terrible. Son, I didn't want him for this game. I knew I didn't want him for this game, and I'm happy that I didn't take the hit because I had a feeling Salah wasn't going to return.
I truly felt like Mo wasn't going to be the play. That's why I could have easily taken the hit. I was like, I'm just not feeling it.
Wasn't worth it. I think we both made good decisions on that end, and I just left Son, because the fixture that's coming up, and then I said to myself, but wait a minute, why did I leave Son? I still don't want him for this one. I still don't want him for Newcastle, but do I transfer him out before Bournemouth? And that's where I'm stuck.
I think, and we can get into it a little bit later on, but I have some thoughts on that. I do have some thoughts there.
So, Mitrovic, I told you I was going to put the armband on him because at the time he thought, remember, Barnes wasn't in my team yet. He was the only one who I thought was going to, him and the vice captaincy was on Trippier. They were the only ones that I thought would get a clean sheet. Now, who did Newcastle face again? They faced Everton. Why I didn't put the armband on Trippier, actually, when I think about it,
and that's what I wanted to do. That's exactly what I wanted to do. I don't know why I didn't just do that.
Like, why? He was the obvious, if you were going to put it on a defender, he was the obvious choice.
Yeah.
And then Tony, I wasn't expecting Tony to do anything. However, when I tuned into the score of the Chelsea game and I saw Correa was already off, you should have heard me. Tony! Tony!
And he had some very good chances, man. Kepa just played so well.
Kepa was playing like he's
another one for the watch list.
He's playing well. And when I look at these fixtures that are coming up for that team, we're talking about these are not the easiest though, to be fair. But I'm still seeing all of this to hold through. I know it goes far. It goes into April. There's going to be a long break. A lot of things can happen. At this point, I'm just waiting for World Cup to start so I can not think too much about fantasy at the moment. Nico Williams on the bench, 6 points. Did not expect Nottingham to keep a clean sheet against Brighton with everybody gunning for Brighton players. People putting the armband on Trossard got me nervy.
Yeah, that was a little wild.
I was nervous. So he had to sit on the bench. 52 points. I saw a green arrow. Was previously on, if I go on live FPL, was previous my old rank. I'm not even about to move this because we already talked about it. But the new rank post subs, 434. I'll take that, 434K.
Yeah,
that's how we looking. Not a great game week, not a terrible game week. I'm gonna hug it. I'm going to try to go for the slow grind and get back to where I need to be. Could have been worse.
All right.
How about you?
All right, let's jump into it. Okay, so this is how I did during game week 12. 52 points. The average for the game week was 38. So, a good number above the game week. I feel like we're moving back into the right direction, a green arrow. Overall, I'll just kind of start from the back, and really the most of the points are in the back. Pope, Clean sheet again. That's back-to-back clean sheets for my goalkeeper. Finally, we're looks like we've gotten that sorted. Pope with a 6-pointer, clean sheet. Webster, 6-pointer, clean sheet. Trippier, clean sheet with bonus, 9 points. Gahey, no, that was a Crystal Palace. I don't know how they let Wolves score, but is what it is. Nothing there. 1-pointer gets yellow.
Right? Of all the
I don't know. Of
teams.
all the teams to score, it's just like, bro, come on, y'all got to do better than that. And then Nico Williams with the 6 points as well. In the midfield, Andreas, 3 points. I gotta say, I watched the Fulham game today. Andreas looks really good. I'm not gonna lie. He looks he actually looks like a good footballer. He looks really good. I'm not gonna front. Bowen missed the penalty, got the -2, so he took home nothing. I guess the only positive with Bowen, honestly, just glad he didn't get a yellow card, because then it would have been a -1. So yeah, I mean, that's the only positive I could take from Bowen there. Zaha got the goal at the end at the end of the game. Finally repaid one of the returns, because I've had Zaha from game week 9. I brought him in for the chip when I did my wild card here, and all I've gotten was the little assist here. So finally, he's repaid me with a goal. Brought in Trossard as the punt. Nothing came of it. Is what it is. 3 points from him. I threw the armband on Harry Kane. I wasn't as confident. Honestly, I just didn't know where else outside of Trippier points were going to come from. And I guess looking back, hindsight is 2020. I should have just kept, I should have just went with Trippier and just be done with it. But put on Kane, he blanked. Man U ran circles around Spurs.
It's only the second time he's blanked.
Yeah. I'm not. And hey, second time he's blanked, but also the second time I've captained him, right? Captained him in game week 1. And then boom. So, and then again. Right. So, or no, I think I had Mo captain in game week 1. And then Mitro got the penalty as well, which was I gotta keep it real. I'm thankful for the points, but that was a brutal penalty. That was just a brutal penalty. Like, Mitro was literally right beside the dude, slaps the ball. It wasn't even like an awkward dive from the guy from Matty Cash. He was trying to just block the ball, and they called a handball on him. So whatever, I'll take the points. I'll take the goal. Mitro's ownership is under 25%.
That's so crazy to me.
It's crazy to me.
That's crazy.
Especially on a game week like this. So I will gladly take that. Appreciate the points and the moving up in rank. Speaking of rank, my old rank going into the game week was 923K, and we jumped up about 200,000 spaces to 732K. So overall, positive game week. Game week was good, moved in the right direction. No major complaints. On the bench, I had Iverson and the City and Arsenal players. So kind of is what it is. That's how the game week went.
That's what's up.
Let's maybe jump into the plans for game week 13 then, and how we're going to look to set up. I'll just kind of jump in, especially like how I have my screen up at the moment. So in terms of team, I'll jump right into the team. As I mentioned before, transfers already made.
I already brought in my guy.
Transfers already made.
Bro, play your own game. Why are you copying me, man?
Transfers are already made. Foden's going to be the highest transferred in player this week. I think by a landslide. I think he already is, actually. When I had checked last night, bringing in Foden, it was an easy swap. I still have 1.7 mil in the bank. I have way too much cash, but that basically came from selling Reece James. Foden is in. He's playing Brighton at home. How I'm gonna set up for this week? I got Pope. To be honest, I low-key might just throw. I really wanted Leicester to lose so that I could maybe throw in Iverson and hopefully he could have came in and did a little 1-2, but wasn't to be. So Pope will start playing Tottenham away, not expecting much there. Cancelo versus Brighton. Trippier again versus Tottenham. This is the issue when you're doubled up on a defense. Hey, it's great when they keep the
That's
clean
right.
sheets like they did last week or this previous game week, but
Yeah.
hey, when they got a game against a top six side, it's not a good look. It's definitely not a good look. And I obviously can't bench trips, and I don't have a backup keeper, so they just got to roll. Gahey, I'm going to start him against Everton. As we've seen, Palace isn't necessarily a watertight defense, so not expecting much from him. But out of the defenders I have, he has the best game on paper. Bowen, I'm going to keep Bowen for the
Have
Bournemouth
to.
game at home.
You have to.
Now, I know I have to. But I'm looking at Bowen's fixtures. And I know that I kept him because for this run, all the way up until game week 16, he's supposed to be straight. But I gotta say, after that penalty miss, his days in my team are definitely numbered. His days are definitely numbered. I swear, if he didn't have the game against an easier opponent like Bournemouth, I'd take a hit and get him out. Not even going to front.
Hey, watch Bournemouth keep a clean sheet, and then you're going to be looking at
Bournemouth is going that. So that's what I wanted to touch. I wanted to mention to you. Bournemouth defensively are not pushovers. I'm no longer putting Bournemouth on my list of just automatic goals are going to be scoring against them. I know they leaked one to Southampton, but again, just one goal conceded. They leaked the 2 to Fulham, the 1 to Leicester. They haven't been as bad as we're maybe making them out to be. So hopefully Bowen can do something. Foden, bringing him in for the Brighton game. I'm going to touch on the Brighton game in a second. Zaha against Everton, Martinelli against Southampton. There were some rumors that Martinelli didn't show up to practice a couple of days ago or whatever, but for the Europa League game, he was at least on the bench today. I didn't watch the game, but we'll see if I'll go back and watch the highlights and see if he ends up getting on the pitch. Rounding out the forwards, it's Mitrovic up top versus Leeds, Kane against Newcastle. Really hate when I got my defense playing my attackers like that, especially when they're so crucial. My goalkeeper, defender going against my big differential striker. That's just crazy. And then I got Haaland versus Brighton, and of course, I'm throwing the captaincy on Haaland. Now, this Brighton versus City game, City is coming off of a loss to Liverpool.
say it again.
Right? City's coming off of a loss to Liverpool, right? Deservedly. They lost that game. All the City players were well cheesed. You can see it all around.
Super bad.
They were well cheesed. On top of that, City has gotten an extra week of rest. Now, even though Arsenal didn't get a Premier League game, they still had to play Europa League this week. So they're not fully rested. I'm expecting Pep Guardiola's team to go out and give Brighton the business. They're rested. They're good. I'm foreseeing them giving them. Yeah, I'm foreseeing them getting the business. So much so that Webster is last on my bench. Okay, I'm expecting City to go and give them the work. Right. The game is at home. It's at the Etihad. I just see that one getting ugly. And so when I was weighing up who I'm going to take out Trossard for, the two players I was looking at was either Bukayo Saka or Foden. And just based on City having the rest, the loss that they're coming off of, they have the home game. Saka also I heard he got a knock today in the Europe. Yeah, he got a knock today. So easy thing for me. I'm going with Foden, kind of settles it. We'll see how they get on. Andreas is first off the bench. Hopefully we don't need to use him, but if required, and this is going to be one of those weeks where somebody could potentially get rested. I don't want to throw this out there, but I do foresee Bowen getting a rest. I'm just going to throw that one out there.
Yeah.
I do foresee Bowen starting on the bench.
Mm.
But we'll see. We'll see. That's just what I think. But that's how I'm set up. That's how I'm set up going into the game week.
Like it. Overall, I definitely feel your concerns with the Kane and Trippier. I'm really hoping that Newcastle leak, and I'll explain when I show my team.
All right. Bet. Well, let's dive into it. Let's see how you set up.
I got my team up. Here's what I'm thinking. Let me just let you know who's going on my bench. Cucurella is not seeing the pitch. They got a tough fixture. They got a tough fixture against United. United is slowly creeping up on people. Crazy how their season has turned around the way that it has. United is looking like a team that you got to be taken seriously, rightfully so. After Bruno comes out and scored, he scored like 2 goals or something like that, or a goal and an assist.
No, he got a goal. I don't know.
Just one goal? I don't know, but Bruno was just surprised. The goal was nice. So I gotta give the man credit. The goal was well placed. I'm afraid. Cucurella is sitting. He's honestly, I think he's gonna be last on my bench.
Fair.
I actually have more fear for what Man U could do to Chelsea than what I think Liverpool can do to Neco Williams. This guy, by the way, Aurier and him started.
Yeah,
that was interesting. Forrest is in shambles.
That was a joke. To bring on, fam, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm actually glad you mentioned that because when I saw that lineup, I wasn't sure what was going on. And then watching them play on the pitch, I'm like, you guys really threw Neco Williams to left back, put Aurier right back. You know that neither Aurier nor Neco Williams are Premier League level right backs, right?
They're so defensively, brother. They were so bad. I'm literally tweeting out during the game. I'm like, this team is terrible to watch. How have Brighton not scored? I couldn't believe it. They're terrible.
Yeah.
So bad that it makes me kind of a little worried that I don't have a Liverpool asset going into this game week. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's not like Liverpool scoring on all cylinders. Jata's out. Diaz out. Nunez. So what are we going to see? A starting attacking lineup of Salah and Nunez, who are apparently going to both be playing a little bit more central. And then you're going to have Firmino, who it's tough to even get 90 minutes out of him. So what, is Carvalho gonna come and I don't know. I'm not really holding my breath. At best, might be a little 1-1. Might be a 2-1. I don't even know if Liverpool is gonna keep a clean sheet. But if it's a team to keep a clean sheet against,
it's definitely them.
But they always disappoint me, so I'm not holding my breath. Kind of makes me wonder what I'm planning to do. Here are my transfer thoughts. Let me just continue with my bench. Cucurella on the bench, Neco Williams on the bench, and sadly, Harvey Barnes on my bench. Madison's back. Wolves. Madison's back. Jose Sa is my keeper. I don't know. I don't know if I want to put him on the bench. I'm gonna maybe just go and look what he did against his last 3 times he faced Wolves. And if it's something similar to what he did against Leeds, he might have to be in there. I'm starting Andreas, and the reason why I'm starting Andreas is because they're facing a leaky Leeds.
Yeah.
So Mitrovic is obviously going to be there. Tony has a more favorable match against Aston Villa. Remember what I told you about Tyrone Mings giving away a freebie? I was hoping that Tyrone Mings was going to give away a freebie. And now at this point, it's like, come on, like now you got to do it to everybody. Give one to Tony. Give one to Tony, please. Because Tyrone Mings is terrible.
Yeah, he's...
Villa, terrible. Gerrard, you need to get sacked. What is going on?
Yeah, I think they're going to sack him. I mean, that's what the Villa fans were singing today. They were singing, we want him out. So.
He's terrible. He's so bad. Fulham put 3 on you. and they weren't even playing great.
That's the scary
And
part.
they put 3 on you
That's the scary
at
part.
home.
Yep.
Yo, you got to get out of here, bro. Yo, you got to get out of here. Here's what I don't like on my team. Our man's going to go on Haaland, right? Son, he could be such a good differential. I want him to, if he's going to score and ruin this for Newcastle, he needs to get a goal and an assist. I just don't think Newcastle is going to be that leaky.
Yeah.
So it's tough. I haven't made a transfer yet. What I'm thinking are a couple of things. Kukurea, and this is where being a fan is silly when you play this game. I'm thinking Kukurea to Trent.
Hold on. Did you just which actually, you know what? Yeah, you're playing Nottingham Forest. It could be an automatic clean sheet. Okay.
And the fixtures to come after.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, I don't think it's a great. Let me just check to see who Liverpool is facing in game week 14.
Leeds.
They are. Where is this? I'm blind. Oh, they're facing Leeds, and after that, they are going to be facing Spurs. A little tough. So I'm thinking Kukurea to Trent, but that's not my number one. That's kind of like, let me just be a little different. The main one that I'm thinking is the transfer that you've already done. Now, the reason why I'm avoiding Saka, remember I told you I want Saka on my team? I don't like the news of this knock.
Yeah, I don't like. I'm saying.
And it's against an easier opponent. Southampton, I think it is.
Yep.
That, can you afford to rest Saka? Yeah, you can.
Think so.
He's on fire. Rest him. And that
he might have been arrested regardless. That's a joke.
He could have. Honestly, I'm not, like I said, I got no credibility when it comes to the rest stuff. After that big KDB slip up, I ain't talking about no more rest. I'm done. I'm not talking about rest, bro. I'm not talking about rest. So Barnes, I'm thinking Barnes, it was supposed to be Barnes to Saka. I want Saka on my team.
Okay.
But this was also before the news, and I think you're right about how angry City is.
Yeah, City's going.
I think Barnes has to become Foden. Barnes was already on my bench, right? Because he's going up against the goalkeeper. So it's like, I'm not glued to you. But Bowen really makes me angry.
Yeah, Bowen.
So maybe Bowen becomes, but I can't. It's a easy fixture on paper. Maybe he redeems himself. I would be more upset if I take Bowen out and he returns than if I take Barnes out. Barnes is not the type to get return after return after return. Bowen has proven that that's actually something he can do. It's not happening this season. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So if I'm looking at my team and I go to actually pick my team here, this is kind of how I'm set up right now. What would happen, and this is where the benching would be. I thought about just rolling the transfer, by the way.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, you have the team to do it.
I definitely thought about just rolling the transfer. I feel like I do have players. I don't want to put Andreas on the bench only for him to get a return against Leeds. I'll be really, really upset. So then I'm going to put myself, if I make the transfer, I'm going to give myself a benching headache. That's why I said, if I take out Kukurea, I wouldn't be that upset to put Trippier first on my bench.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then I would have Trent, Gahey, Cancelo, Trippier first on the bench.
Gotcha.
But I also then, it's tough. I don't know. Do I just roll? What would you do with this team?
With this team, here's the thing. The Trent Alexander-Arnold transfer is something that crossed my mind as well. So I get that, especially with Liverpool. Here's the thing. Initially, when I started this season, I had double Liverpool defense because how Liverpool tend to move is once the clean sheets click, they tend to come in rapid succession, right? You get one out. They'll go 6 games, 4 clean sheets. Yeah, I mean, they'll do that fairly consistently. So that's not a bad shout, one. But if it's going to be between Bowen or Barnes for the transfer to Foden, it's a tough one because I feel like it's one of those transfers where whoever you move, the other person is going to return.
I feel it too.
That's just what it feels like. That's just what it feels like. But in terms of the games they have, I probably move Barnes.
Here's
But I'm also
another.
not. But I'm also not a big. I'm not a huge fan of Harvey Barnes as an
Neither am
FPL
I.
asset either. So I don't really have any issues. It's kind of like how I feel about Trossard. Like I really, if he returns, cool. I never really cared to have him in the team, regardless. That's just my POV.
He was my punt play. He's only had 3 returns on the year: Leeds, Nottingham Forest, Chelsea. I'm not expecting him to return. I don't need him. I'm not expecting him to. I'm definitely not playing in game week 14. Game week 15, I haven't even looked at my team that far.
Yeah.
Something else that I thought about doing so that I don't have the issue of my player going up against my defender.
Why don't you go Son to Salah?
Son. Still don't trust Salah.
Wow.
Yeah,
if you're not going to
guy.
trust Salah against Nottingham Forest, actually looking at your team, if I had your team with these same players and the money that you have in the bank, I go Son to Salah. That's what I do, and captain Salah.
I'd go KDB. I'd go KDB. I'd go KDB before.
Actually, that's a good shout too. A good shout too.
What I was thinking was maybe Son to Foden, so that I don't have a Tottenham player going up against my Newcastle defense. I'd feel more comfortable playing Trippier and hope for an attacking return from Trippier.
Gotcha.
Same thing could happen though. I could hope for an attacking return from Trippier and an attacking return from Son. I'm not glued to Son. The fixtures that are coming up, I'm glued to this one though. I don't want to take Son out before Bournemouth. It just doesn't make sense. I think it makes more sense to just take him out before Liverpool. Don't take him out before, you know what I mean? So that's why I'm not moving towards Salah, or I didn't like what Salah did. And I wasn't surprised that Salah didn't return. So that's where I'm stuck. I even thought about Cucurella to Ben White, hoping that he gets subbed off before Arsenal concede a goal.
Wow.
Right? I don't want to buy Saliba. And this is just me being stubborn, but I also want to keep the cash. If Ben White's going to start, I think he'll come off for sure. Tommy Yasu is going to see some minutes. I got to check the midweek the Europa game. I didn't watch it. I only looked at the news. I don't even know what the score was.
Yeah, same.
I don't know who started. I hope Tommy Yasu started. I hope he played the whole game. Because then Ben White's playing the whole game. He's going to play up until 60 plus minutes.
Yeah.
Sure. So I hope to God Tommy. And if he did, that's going to make me think to myself, maybe Ben White for the clean sheet potential, 6 points.
Yeah.
And I already don't want Cucurella in my team. But again, it doesn't matter what I do. I'm going to have a headache. I'm going to have a benching headache. And my luck is I get it wrong. I always get it wrong. That's my team. This is the dilemma. Do I make a transfer or do I just roll it? What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments, man. Jesus.
Yeah. It sounds like you're on the fence there. All right. Well, I mean, keep us in the loop. Let's see how it goes down. Let's see how it goes down come beginning of the game week. You only got a day to make the decision. So
right.
We'll see.
Let's go into our final thoughts before game week 13. So, Bri, final thoughts, game week 13, right around the corner. Who would be your differential pick and why?
I'm going to go with someone who's just slightly above the 5% ownership mark. Ben White for Arsenal, defender. Arsenal's playing Southampton away. Arsenal is going top of the league. I mean, the top of the league. which is crazy to say. I can't believe I'm actually saying Arsenal is at the top of the league.
Sick.
And the season is 13 games in. That is nuts. Arsenal, they're, best team in the league currently. And Ben White's playing good. He's seems to be working well with Saka. Saka might not be in the game, but expect Ben White to play in the game. We'll see how things go with Tomiyasu, but he's just a player who I think, or really anyone on that Arsenal defense that I think can be productive this particular game week. I would have went with one of the Liverpool defenders for Nottingham Forest, but all their ownership is over, a little bit too high, over what we'd consider a true differential at this point.
Got you. Okay. Just like I was saying before, he's somebody who I thought about. That makes me feel a lot more comfortable when I got somebody on the same page talking about who they would possibly bring into the team. Definitely makes me feel good. My possible differential and even a long-term hold is also a defender. This may be a surprise. Under 4% ownership, playing on a team that I can't believe I'm talking about. I cannot believe I'm talking about a Leicester defender. Timothy Castagne. 4 straight returns.
Yep.
Actually, his ownership is looking like it's just about 5%. That's insane.
Yep.
6 points, 6 points, 7 points, 8 points from his last to the last. Like, what? Where's this coming from? As a matter of fact, he's been even taking a couple shots on the opposing team. Mind you, just 1 shot on target.
Yeah, but still.
Like the fact that he's getting up there. I'm saying to myself, is this serious? Guess who Leicester's facing? Wolves, who can't score.
Yep.
Then they have a little bit of a tougher fixture against City. But then they have Everton. Then West Ham. And then West Ham will pull a Bowen. I'm not saying necessarily go into get Castagne for long term, but if there's a team that they could potentially keep, dare I say it, 4 out of 5 clean sheets against, it would be Wolves.
That would be yeah.
That's the team.
That's crazy.
He could be a differential if you have him in your team this particular game week. I'm gonna leave it there. I think it's gonna be interesting. I have a benching headache. I don't know what to do. I don't want people going up in price. My final thoughts are I'm going to have to trust my gut and just hope for
the best. Fair enough. Well, I know for me, final thought, I'm really looking forward to tuning into that City game. I hope they give Brighton the business. I'm banking on it big time. Obviously everyone has the Cancelos and the Haalands, but Foden's ownership is only at 22.5%. So
that's
high. 22.5%, considering there's over 10 million FPL players. Hey man, that's still significant. Now, granted, everybody in the top 1 million, I know everybody has their eye on him there, so his ownership there is probably a lot higher, but still, we're trying to chase rank, right?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they put the business on them. But overall, I think this game week went well. Excited for game week 13. It's another quick turnaround for us. Just a heads up to the viewers, come game week, I think it's game week 15, there could be a potential delay in the video. Want to give the heads up from now. AC and I are going to be out of the country. We're still going to do our best to get the content out there, but just want to start putting that in your ear from now. If you're new to the channel and you have been enjoying the content that we've been putting out, please be sure to hit that like button. It helps the channel a lot. Hit subscribe and turn your notification bells on so that you get notified every time we drop a new video. And as you can see, we are here every single game week. You can follow us on Twitter at UpYourRanked FPL. Peace out, and we'll catch y'all in the next one. Be sure to like and subscribe.